they're different than the ones that than what I installed on the front. So trying not to rip these bushings in case I have to reuse them. There we go. Those rubber mounts might actually be, I'm almost certain you can't get a repair kit for that. 500 Outlaw, I probably wouldn't even have messed with it. I have to go get a bar to get that out of there. There we go. I mean, it is stuck. Ugh. Well, here we go again. So, not real happy about this. So, I really wasn't wanting to tear the whole back end of this ATV apart, but I've already got the whole front end ripped apart and new bearings and new everything, and everything's been greased and maintenance. So, I've decided I'm going to go ahead and rip the back end apart. This will be a 2-part series. We'll go ahead, or maybe 3. I'll go ahead and rip the rear A-arms off, and then I've got an ultrasonic parts cleaner. I'm going to go ahead and clean those up. We're not going to paint those. And then I'm going to have to do a detailed cleaning on these rear shocks. The only thing I'm probably not going to remove on this is that sway bar. So we'll just get into this here, and I'll pull this apart. So there'll be a cleaning, and then reinstall and torque, and then a cleaning and reinstall of the rear shocks. So here we go. Okay, so I don't mean to sound so glum. I'm just getting tired of working on this thing. And every time I tear something apart, it needs to be maintenance, or if I order parts, I can't get the parts. So, yeah, we'll just start with the easy one here, and we'll go ahead and remove the rear A-arms together in a set. And these are just 15 millimeters. And the top will just come off. Now I actually have the rear Delrin bushings. However, they're different than the ones that than what I installed on the front. So I don't know if they're going to work. They just look like they might be made different. Then on the other side, it's same thing for these. And I've got everything sprayed down, so everything is just really nasty. The amount of cleaning that I've had to put into this ATV just blows my mind. But you know, if you're going to do something, especially on this YouTube stuff, and I'm going to show you how to do it, it needs to be done properly and needs to be done right. So the rear shocks look like they're 15. The front shocks were 15 as well. So we're just going to go ahead and pull this off, this top bolt out, and we're going to set these aside. These are not going to go in the parts washing machine. We'll just take these apart and re-grease them, and I'm going to have to use heavy duty degreaser to clean them up. And we have our sway bar end links here. Everything appears that it's going to be 15. And actually what I've heard is a lot of people that don't do a lot of fast riding, they actually disconnect the sway bar. You know, the sway bar is used for the sport quadness of this ATV, and what it is it keeps the independent rear suspension from rolling this ATV over. I'm going to go ahead and put this top shock back in. We'll leave that one off so we don't drop that A-arm. And there's actually going to be a very small spacer on there as well. God, these rubber boots are so caked in mud that it is just, it's really unbelievable. You can totally tell that whoever had this ATV did not. These ATVs, I think they were, I looked them up, they were $7,600 new. No one ever pays that. Oh, there goes the bottom out of that. And, you know, $7,600 is quite a bit to neglect something, but I guess over a period of time it just happens. So the rear, oh my God, the rear bushing for the shock is just stuck in the A-arm here. Then we'll get this pulled out here real gently because I've still got this thing jacked up. Look at the dirt and oil. Oh, it stinks. I'll tell you, I don't know what you're riding in Oregon. I know it's up there by Canada. But dude, wash your freaking ATV, man. Trying not to rip these bushings in case I have to reuse them. There we go. Oh my God, I wish you could smell this. I really do. We'll just remove the bottom link here. And look at the mud on that. That is gonna, I hope that those rubber mounts might actually be, I'm almost certain you can't get a repair kit for that. Forgot about the caliper. And I've got an all new brake system that's gonna go on this ATV. New caliper, new rear master cylinder, everything. So. Look at the rust. If this was a 500 Outlaw, I probably wouldn't even have messed with it. But since it had the KTM engine, it was worth messing with for the money, I thought. Started to double think myself on that. This will be the last rear one. And then we'll have to take that last end link off. Oh, they actually greased that front one. God, I might have to go get a bar to get that out of there. There we go. You can actually see grease coming out of there. I think they started having a lot of problems with the rear end of this and didn't want to pay to service it. That's what I personally believe. Now we'll remove our last bolt here onto our end link. Okay, so on these top A-arms here in the back, we just have two Delrin covers, and then we have our oh, there's needle bearings in this as well. All the other ones on the rear hub for the tire were all almost shot. If you do not attempt These things are stuck. God, this. We'll see what the ultrasonic parts cleaner does. I'm hoping it unsticks that. This one's got a massive amount of rust in it as well. It's going to be stuck. Oh, this one turns. I'm surprised. So what we're going to do first is we're going to put these two in my ultrasonic parts cleaner, and then I'm going to come back and we'll take those apart, and I'm going to set the shocks aside for another day. Okay, so here we go again. I've already got the water in it. I've got a few things in it. I've got my rear hubs that we're going to replace the bearings in. If you haven't seen that video, check the playlist below. And then we're going to do a very minimal when I have to run the valves, to tighten the valves. I've got new valve covers because I kind of wanted to paint them, or I might anodize them, or powder coat them. And then I have the water pump cover. We're going to go ahead. I don't want to say too much here, but you are going to see a Torrent Performance oversized custom radiator for this as well. So the nightmare I went through on tapping the radiator size from them Chinese radiators, I just went ahead and decided that I'm going to go ahead and put in production my own branded not Chinese, my own branded Torrent Performance radiator. So with the radiator kit, which will be soon to come, it's taking time for production. I'm also having a set of silicone hoses made to run the factory thermostat. You really need to run the thermostat unless you're racing. All the other silicone hoses on the internet are all they delete the thermostat. If you ride in winter time or have different changing temperatures, or even don't want to just be constantly running water through your engine, your antifreeze, then you really need to have a thermostat. So we're going to have some Torrent Performance lines as well. It's just taking a lot of time, and it's going to be sold as a kit. So what'll happen is you'll have to buy the oversized radiator, the silicone hoses. It'll come with a new thermostat, new cap, and then more than likely probably an inline cooler as well to help with the temperature with these motors. From what I'm reading, it's basically the overheating is done by jetting, and that they just took the KTM motor and jammed it into this four-wheeler and kind of put a radiator on it, and just, that was it. So yeah, we'll just start this parts cleaner here and let this thing do its job and come back when it's done. I just literally started this for less than 10 seconds, and you can already see the haze on this. So I'll come back and show you the water when it's done. Okay, so now what we're going to do is we're going to just try to save some of this stuff. This is the eyelets for the shock. Go get my needle nose pliers. And I'm actually gonna, when I pull this out, I'm gonna go put this one is gonna go back, and I'm gonna zip tie it to the shock. That way we don't lose those. Then I'd like to carefully pull these out like so. That one's stuck, but we'll be able to clean these up and reuse these. I can tell right now they're not in too bad a shape. They're a little hard, but they should clean up if we can get this. Yeah, there we go. Get this undone there. And those will be for the shock. And then on the front side here, these are the bushings that I have. And these are actually the only ones on this four-wheeler. And those are not the standard black ones. Those are just like the ones that I have that I bought. This person, the last owner of this, most definitely was having issues. He actually used waterproof grease there, and they replaced these bushings at one point in time. These are not stock bushings. that I believe. And then we will, oh, these are just like the top A arms. So there'll be a needle bearing. Oh, this one is just rusted. It's rusted. It's not gonna move. It's gonna have to be freed up as well. I mean, it is stuck. That one is moving. It's just dried up, so might get lucky with those. I don't have to work on those too much. But these, once I get these taken apart, they're so big they're going to have to go on the machine on its own. So we'll go ahead and real quickly disassemble this one as well. This one actually feels free. Well, maybe if these rear A arms had come off at one point in time, they might have serviced these. This one's free too, thank God. That sucker's rusted. Oh my God. It takes a lot of time for this rust to accumulate like this. Okay, and then once the machine's done, we'll put these in there and this stuff in there and try to get this cleaned up. Okay, so we're pretty much done with this cleaning, so I'll go ahead and drain the water. Show you the water real quick. There's the water. I'm a little concerned about the aluminum A-arms. They were so stained, I don't know if they're going to come clean or not. So oh, they look pretty good. These are what I was worried about with the rubber. Oh, they're so hot. They cleaned up pretty well. We'll be able to reuse all this. There's my water pump cover and my valve cover. Okay, and as you can see here, I've got all my nuts, all my bearings, shock bushings, I ended up, the Delrin bushings I bought didn't fit. I read online that people were having problems with that, so thank God we saved those. I've got my A-arms pretty much as clean as they're gonna get. There was one issue with these, the needle bearing on the inside. For some reason, the needles came out of both of them, so not real sure what the hell caused that, but I was able to save it, so I might have to order some parts. But other than that, next week we'll go to the shock cleaning, and then when the shock's cleaning's all done, if I can't fix the needle bearings inside these A-arms, I'll have to order them, which will give me time to order them, and then we'll get this thing put back together. So just check the Outlaw build in the video playlist below, and you pretty much, once you get to this point where you're doing this kind of work, you're gonna have to do it yourself, because to take this to a shop, it absolutely costs a fortune. So keep watching, I'm out here.